The Chicago Bears have claimed 3 players on the waiver wire and also set their official practice squad for this year. In this video, I'll be talking about all the players they added and who made the practice squad. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears news update video, which I'll be doing anytime the Chicago Bears news is going on. So subscribe to my channel if you guys want all my opinions and my thoughts on latest breaking Chicago Bears news. And yeah, so the Bears had the #1 priority in the waiver wire order because we finished with the worst record in football last year. So even though we set our 53-man roster yesterday, we did add 3 players on the waiver wire that got cut from other teams yesterday. So I'll be talking about all the players that we added and also going over the practice squad at the very end of this video. So first I want to talk about the waiver wire adds, and obviously to add anybody we had to cut other players too. So far we've only cut 1 player according to my knowledge that was on the 53 yesterday but got cut today because of waiver wire adds, and that player was Terrell Lewis. Okay, the guy that I was hyping up so much in the preseason, the guy that had a fantastic preseason and camp for the Chicago Bears, a fantastic story too. For some reason the Bears did cut him, but they did that because they actually added a different edge that also had similar stats as Terrell Lewis in the preseason. So kind of a lateral move by doing that, which I'll talk about that player in a little bit, but it does kind of suck that we cannot keep Terrell Lewis. Maybe we're going to bring him back on practice squad eventually if he does clear waivers, but you know, he was a fantastic player in the preseason for the Bears, and I thought that surely he would be, you know, depth for the Bears this year, but clearly not. And we do have to cut 2 other players too, according to my knowledge. Well, actually only 1 more player, because Tevin Jenkins went on the IR, short-term IR, so he's going to be out for at least a month, so that opens up another roster spot. But we do have to cut 1 more player because we did actually add 3 players on the waiver wire. So talking about the first player that we did claim, his name is Khalid Kareem, an edge rusher from the Colts, who was actually a 5th round pick by the Bengals back in 2020. So, you know, a guy that went to Notre Dame, is pretty athletic, obviously, like all these edge rushers that, you know, Eberflus wants on this team. He's an athletic guy, a very big guy, 6'4", weighs 268 pounds. So definitely has the size to play defensive end in this scheme. And the most important difference between him and Travis Gibson and Terrell Lewis is that he's actually a pretty fantastic run defender. At least he was in the preseason. So he hasn't played too many regular season snaps because he was a backup for both the Bengals and the Colts. But this year in the preseason, he did, you know, break out to some extent, because according to PFF, he actually had a pretty fantastic run defending grade. So they gave him a grade in run defending of 78.9, which is like borderline elite there. He also did have 3 sacks and 11 pressures on the quarterback, as well as 7 hurries. So really fantastic preseason for this guy. We also had a chance to get a close-up look at him during the joint practices we had with the Colts this year. So the fact that, you know, we got the close-up look at him and still, you know, the Bears chose him over both Gibson and Lewis does say a lot about how much they do like this guy, and especially his run defending. I think that's the one area where that's why they added him and waived both Gibson and, you know, Terrell Lewis, because both Gibson and Lewis are not known as great run defenders. Even in the preseason, like, they weren't the best in terms of run defense. We saw last year, you know, Gibson struggled heavily against the run. Terrell Lewis has, you know, mostly been a backup so far in his career. And, you know, even Khalid Kareem is going to be a backup for the Bears. He's not a starter level player, you know, in the NFL yet, but he's only 25 years old, still has a lot of room to grow. And if the Bears do like his run defending ability, I'm totally okay with making a somewhat lateral move by getting rid of Gibson and Lewis and adding this guy. Hopefully it does work out, and hopefully that run defense is worth it, because I do not want to see the Bears get gashed for, you know, 100 plus, 150 plus yards a game every single game like it seemed like we were last year. So, you know, we'll see what this turns into, but welcome to the Bears. Khalid Kareem. Talking about the next guy, we claimed Quindell Johnson, safety from the LA Rams, who's actually a UDFA from the draft class this year. He went to Memphis for college and actually had a pretty nice career there at Memphis. Okay, he had 10 interceptions at Memphis, and he a couple blocked kicks as well on special teams. So, you know, with the Chicago Bears, he's gonna be a special teamer most likely and be that backup safety that we don't currently have a great one, right? Like, looking at the backup safeties, we have Adrian Colbert on the roster, we have Elijah Hicks as well, but neither of those guys really have shown that much in the NFL so far. So adding another safety to be a backup for you and also be a decent special teamer for you, I'm totally okay with making a move like that. I think it does make some sense. And he's 6'1", weighs 201 pounds, so definitely a bigger safety. Maybe you could put him, you know, closer to the line of scrimmage too if you have to. He actually did have a few pressures on the quarterback in the preseason for the LA Rams. So definitely a versatile guy, a guy that can hopefully be a good special teamer for you too. He had those block kicks in college, so not much else to say about him. Hopefully he plays well in whatever role the Bears decide to use him in. But talking about the last guy that we claimed, that we actually, I'm sorry, we did not claim this guy. We signed him because he wasn't, available to be claimed. He was just a free agent. Trent Taylor, okay, he got cut by the Bengals, a few days ago, and I really love this one. Okay, probably the best ad that the Bears made today because it fills a direct and immediate need on the Chicago Bears roster. Punt returner. Okay, this guy actually led the NFL last year in punt returns over 20 yards. He led the NFL in that stat. And for a Bears team that did not have a clear punt returner on the roster, okay, Velus Jones fumbled so many punts last year. He's also been fumbling punts in the preseason this year as well. Tyler Scott is a rookie right now that hasn't had too much experience fielding punts in the NFL. So adding a veteran that actually has the ability to do that and do it very well, I think is a fantastic add for the Chicago Bears. So Trent Taylor is 5'8", 180 pounds, pretty small guy. He's a slot receiver too. If we have to, use him in the slot as a weapon, he's mostly going to be a, special teamer for us, but maybe occasionally he might get a few targets here and there as a gadget guy. But yeah, he was a 5th round pick by the Niners back in 2017. And actually our current special teams coordinator, Richard Hightower, was the coordinator of the Niners back in 2017 when they selected him in the draft and used him as their punt returner. So that familiarity definitely was big in terms of him wanting to come to Chicago. So that's pretty cool. And it's so nice to have a guy that knows what he's doing at punt returner, because last year we just fumbled so many games away literally from Velus Jones, muffing punts. And that would be very, very bad if the Bears decided to roll it back with Velus again this year at punt returner. I think Velus still probably will make the roster as a kick returner, because at returning kicks, Velus Jones is completely fine. And he still could be used as a gadget guy on this offense. So I think they will keep, both Velus and Trent Taylor. I don't think this means the end for Velus in Chicago. He's probably going to be getting one more chance, but I'm happy Velus does not have to field punts anymore because he absolutely sucked at doing that. So, those are the 3 guys that we added today. And then talking about the practice squad, okay, the Bears also finalized their practice squad for this year, which obviously could change a little bit. We could be adding some more guys back. Maybe if they still like Terrell Lewis, they could add him back on practice squad and cut one of these guys. But talking about the Bears practice squad for this year, it's Micah Baskerville, Travis Bell, Robert Burns, Steven Carlson, Aviante Collins, DeMarquise Gates, Jalen Harris, Roy Mabitika, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Greg Stroman Jr., Nasimba Webster, and Kendall Williamson. And not too many surprises here. I'm pretty happy that they did keep Travis Bell and Kendall Williamson, their 7th round picks from this year. There wasn't really any chance they would be snatched away by any other team, because it's not like they were doing amazing in preseason, and they also were, not very highly scouted players. They were both 7th round picks. So them coming back was not a surprise. Robert Burns coming back, I'm pretty happy about too, because he's our backup fullback and had some pretty good performances in the preseason. So that's pretty cool. And then we got some decent linebackers too in Micah Baskerville and DeMarquise Gates on the practice squad in case of injury on the main 53-man roster. So all in all, a pretty decent practice squad. But that's the end of the video, guys. Leave your thoughts down below. I know some people will be mad about getting rid of Travis Gibson, getting rid of Terrell Lewis, but Travis Gibson did not even get claimed by any other team in the NFL on waivers. So clearly all of the NFL is also lower on Gibson, just like Ryan Poles is. So I wouldn't go crazy about any of these moves, because these are just back of the roster moves for depth, which should not make or break our season. Cutting Gibson and Lewis probably is not going to make or break our season unless we somehow get super unlucky. So, don't freak out in the comments. I think Poles did make some solid moves. It's nothing too much though to write home about. It's just back of the roster depth guys that hopefully can be pretty decent for the Bears if they do have to step up at any point this year. But leave your thoughts down below, guys. As always, bear down.